Good morning. We're on 2 more chapters of Wonder by R.J. Bellagio. The month is called October 31st and Trick or Treat. And this is from the view of Via, Augie's sister. Again, in this section of the book. October 31st. Grant's had died the night before Halloween. Since then, even though it's been 4 years, this has always been a sad time of year for me, for Mom too, though she doesn't always say it. Instead, she immerses herself in getting August's costume ready, since we all know Halloween is his favorite time of year. This year was no different. August really wanted to be a Star Wars character called Boba Fett. So Mom looked for Boba Fett's costume in August's side, which was strangely enough was out of stock everywhere. She went to every online store and found a few on eBay that were going for an outrageous amount, and finally ended up buying a Fango Jet costume that she then converted to Boba Fett costume by painting it green. I would say in all, she must have spent 2 weeks working on that stupid costume, and no, I won't mention the fact that Mom has never made any of my costumes because it has no bearing on anything at all. The morning of Halloween, I woke up thinking about Grands, which really made me sad and weepy. Dad kept telling me to hurry up and get dressed, which stressed me out even more. And suddenly I started crying. I just wanted to stay home. So Dad took August to school that morning, and Mom said I could stay home, and the two of us cried together for a while. One thing I know for sure, however much I miss Grands, Mom must have missed her more. All of those times August was clinging to life after surgery, all those rush trips to the ER, Grands had always been there for Mom. It felt good to cry with Mom. For both of us, at some point, Mom had the idea of watching The Ghost of Mrs. Muir together, which was one of our all-time favorite black and white movies. I agreed that was a great idea. I think I probably would have used this weeping session as an opportunity to tell Mom everything that was going on at school with Miranda and Ella. But just as we were sitting down in front of the DVD player, the phone rang. It was the nurse from August's school calling to tell Mom that August had a stomachache and should be picked up. So much for the old movies and the mother-daughter bonding. Mom picked up August, and the moment he came home, he went straight to the bathroom and threw up. He went to his bed and pulled the covers over his head. Mom took his temperature, brought him some hot tea, and assumed the August mom role again. Via's mom, who had come out for a little while, was put away. I understood, though. August was in bad shape. Neither of us asked him why he had worn his Bleeding Scream costume instead of the Boba Fett costume Mom had made for him. If it annoyed Mom to see the costume she had worked on for 2 weeks tossed on the floor unused, she didn't show it. Trick or treat. August said he wasn't feeling well enough to go trick or treating later in the afternoon, which was sad for him because I know how much he loved trick or treat, especially after it got dark outside. Even though I was well beyond the trick or treating stage of myself, I usually threw on some mask or other to accompany him up and down the blocks, watching him knock on people's doors, giddy with excitement. I knew it was one night a year when he could truly be like any other kid. No one knew he was different under the mask. To August, that must have felt absolutely amazing. At 7 o'clock that night, I knocked on his door. "Hey," I said. "Hey." He said it back. He wasn't using his PlayStation or reading a comic book. He was just lying in his bed, looking at the ceiling. Daisy, as always, was sitting next to him on the bed, her head draped over his legs. The Bleeding Scream costume was crumpled up on the floor next to Boba Fett costume. "How's your stomach?" I said, sitting next to him on the bed. "I'm still nauseous." "So you're not up for the Halloween parade?" "Positive." This surprised me. Usually, August was such a trooper about his medical issues, whether it was skateboarding a few days after a surgery or sipping through food through a straw when his mouth was practically bolted shut. This was a kid who's gotten more shots, taken more medicines, put up with more procedures by the age of 10 than most people would have to put up in 10 lifetimes. And yet, he was sidelined from a little nausea. You want to tell me what's up? I said, sounding a bit like Mom. No. Is it school? Yes. Teachers, schoolwork, friends? He didn't answer. Did someone say something? I said. People always say something, he answered bitterly. I could tell. He was close to crying. Tell me what happened, I said. And he told me what happened. He had overheard some very mean things some boys were saying about him. He didn't care about what the other boys had said. He expected that. But he was hurt that one of the boys, his best friend, Jack Will, I remembered his mentioning Jack a few times over the past few months. I remembered Mom and Dad saying he seemed like a really nice kid, saying they were glad August had already made a friend like that. Sometimes kids are stupid, I said softly, holding his hand. I'm sure he didn't mean it. Yeah, please. Then why would he say it? He's pretending to be my friend all along. Tushman probably bribed him with some good grades or something. I bet you he was like, hey Jack, if you make friends with this freak, you don't have to take any tests this year. You know that's not true. Don't call yourself a freak. Whatever. I wish I'd never gone to school in the first place. But I thought you were liking it. I hate it. He was angry all of a sudden, punching his pillow. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. He was shrieking at the top of his lungs. I didn't say anything. I didn't know what to say. He was hurt. He was mad. I let him have a few more minutes of his fury. Daisy started licking his tears off of his face. Come on, Augie, I said, patting his back gently. Why don't you put on your Jango Fett costume and it's Boba Fett costume? Why does everyone mix that up? Boba Fett costume, I said, trying to stay calm. I put my arm around his shoulders. Let's go to the parade, okay? If I go to the parade, Mom will think I'm feeling better and make me go to school tomorrow. Mom would never make you go to school, I answered. Come on, Augie, let's just go. It'll be fun, I promise. And I'll let you have all my candy. He didn't argue. He got out of bed slowly and started pulling up his Boba Fett costume. I helped him adjust the straps and tighten the belt, and by the time he put his helmet on, I could tell he was feeling better. That's the time. Next time.